Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Tonight, we've got something special for you on the SEC ESPN Network. Two of the best college gymnastics teams in the country do battle as the 4th-ranked Utah Utes meet the 7th-ranked LSU Tigers. Come on inside the Maravich Center, everyone, with two-time all-around All-America Kaylee Dixon-Abood. I'm Lynn Rollins. Kaylee, the final regular season meet of the season for these teams. It's a foundation meet as these clubs get ready for conference championships and the ultimate run at an NCAA title.
The goal here tonight is to get the highest score possible in order to improve each team's NQS. They want to hit handstands, stick more landings, and put up their best lineups possible in order to prepare for the postseason.
National qualifying scores. How are they figured and why are they important?
They're important because they get each team seeded in a regional championship on the road to NCAA Nationals. The top 6 regular season scores, 3 of which must be away. You drop the high score, you average the remaining 5, and that gets each team to regionals.
Well, let's look at how Utah and LSU compare against the country in each event.
You can see that each team is ranked within the top 10 in the NCAA on each event. However, Utah has the advantage on beam and floor where they end tonight because they are highly competitive on those 2 events. However, with how good each team is here tonight, it's anybody's competition.
Well, Utah has been really good for a long time. Tom Farden in his 7th season as Utah head coach. He's won 137 meets. He's dropped only 39. There's been 1 tie. 5 NCAA championship appearances. This is one of the premier programs across the country and has been for decades. And on the other side, of course, Jay Clark in his 2nd season as LSU head coach. He's had a remarkable run as an assistant coach, 3-time National Assistant Coach of the Year, and he's in his sophomore season at LSU as the head coach, replacing the legendary D.D. Brode. And, of course, both of these teams, Kaylee, are certainly in the talk, the serious talk about potential for a national championship.
You know, each team is coming off a different kind of meet. LSU, they didn't stick landings last week. They had a loss to Kentucky, some uncharacteristic mistakes, and Utah had one of the best meets ever in school history. So 2 ends of the spectrum here, competing here tonight, highly competitive teams, and I'm looking forward to watching some great gymnastics.
Well, indeed. Utah and LSU. By the way, this will be a home-and-home series starting tonight because LSU will go to Utah for a regular season meet next year. We are set to go. This is Elena Arenas on vault out of Athens, Georgia. She's won 2 vault titles in her career.
She is also the 2021 SEC Vault champion as a freshman.
The judges will be looking for what?
Start value, whether it's a 9.95 or a 10.0 start value. They're looking for height, amplitude, and obviously a stuck landing without moving their feet.
Arenas about ready to go. Utah will be on bars.
There it is. That's exactly the kind of vault that LSU needs to start this meet, to start that vault rotation and to get those sticks to become contagious. Here it is again. You'll see beautiful height, flares out at the end and gets that stick. That's a Yurchenko layout full. It only starts from a 9.95, so that's the highest score that Atlanta will be able to receive. And I think it'll be close to just that.
Emily Morgan up, the freshman out of England. She's had as high as a 9.925 this year.
And she has just been an excellent leadoff for Utah on bars. She got a 9.875 the last time out. Really strong start for this bar rotation. Double tuck dismount, a little slow on that. You'll see what the judges are looking for here on bars. You want to hit handstands right on top. You'll have a release move where the gymnast will let go of the bar and then catch it again. You want to see height. They need to catch the bar again and not take a fall. And the landing. They want to see a stuck landing on that dismount.
Here's Alona Shenikova up second on the vault. Arenas scored a 9-9 to start things for LSU.
Yurchenko full and a half. She had a lot of distance, a lot of power on that vault, but she could not control that landing. She took a very large step. That vault, however, does start from a 10.0. She goes huge leap out of that, so that will be a significant landing deduction. And hopefully that can be one of the scores that LSU drops on this vault rotation.
You mentioned a moment ago Utah coming off one of its best scores ever. It was 198.575 in a victory over Minnesota last week. That's a high number.
It was a lights-out meet for Utah, and I know tonight they're looking to do that again.
That number tied for the 4th best in the history of the NCAA.
Up next for Utah, you'll see Grace McCollum. She was a 2020 U.S. Olympic silver medalist, so she may look familiar to a lot of people. She's now a collegiate athlete and a freshman for Utah, and she's been doing big things already. Shaposh up to the high bar, Pack Salto down to the low. Little short on that handstand. Setting up for the dismount here. Full out, beautifully stuck. There's not much to take on that routine from Grace McCollum.
She has won 10 career bars titles.
She got a 9.975 last week versus Minnesota on this event. So she's capable of getting that 10.0.
By the way, let me correct myself. She has won 3 bars titles this year. She's had a 10 a couple of times.
Sarah Edwards on vault for LSU. Another Yurchenko full and a half. Small step on the landing. That is a deduction. However, those blind landings are so hard to land. They're tough to control, so you'll see a lot of athletes kind of bounce out of this vault. But in order to get that 10.0, you gotta go for that stick.
Sarah has won 1 vault title in her career. She's had a career best of just short of 10, up 9.95. And back to bars we go for Abby Paulson, a junior out of Minnesota.
Utah's number 6 on bars. 49.8 is their highest score, which is
Superb.
That's outstanding.
Yep. Darn near perfect.
And they did that just last week, and they broke a previous school record of 49.7 that has stood since the 1993 season, which is just amazing.
Paulson's best is 9.875. McCollum, who preceded her, scored a 9.925. You mentioned it was near perfect. The judges agreed.
It's an outstanding routine. And Abby has a great one going as well. She's got a beautiful toe point, a nice handstand, line change full, into a double tuck dismount, step back on the landing, but overall a very nice routine. Those tiny steps on each landing and those missed handstands that each gymnast may do during their routine, they may seem small, but they really add up at the end.
Well, especially with the quality here, because there aren't a lot of obvious deductions, and the judges can be very picky because they're that good, these gymnasts.
KJ Johnson up next for LSU, a freshman.
She's already won 1 vault title in her career.
She's been doing big things for LSU already. And that is exactly why she did that a few weeks ago at TWU. She scored at 9.95, which is perfect for that vault since that's what it starts from. And I'd be shocked if it wasn't that tonight. Here it is. You'll see her flare out for the landing. Beautifully stuck.
Alexia Birch, a senior from Sparks, Nevada. Her bars average is a little over 9.8. Birch's best is 9.9.
and she's going in because Miley O'Keefe is out. And that's a huge loss for Utah. Miley's on each event for them and just an outstanding gymnast, very consistent, puts up high scores.
And she is out because of illness. It is not COVID, but she turned sick a couple of days ago. She worked out yesterday, was not feeling well at all, and they have scratched her for tonight because of illness.
And that's what's so important about having your entire team ready. Someone needs to go out, someone needs to be ready to go in and put up just as good of a score. A hop right into a Jaeger and just couldn't get there. She let go a little too early and missed the bar. So now she just has to focus on finishing the routine to the best of her ability. And this will put some pressure on the rest of the lineup because they're going to want to drop her score.
So Alexia Birch will finish the routine.
See if she can finish strong here. Little short on that handstand. A double layout dismount, small step, but she got back up, and it's extremely hard to do that. You're a little distracted, but she finished well, and now Utah needs to step it up and hit the rest of these routines. There's the double lay again, and a small step.
Well, the crowd is expressing its displeasure over KJ Johnson's vault, which was scored a 9.85.
You know, gymnastics is such a tough sport because it's so subjective to the judges and what they see from their point of view.
Here is a fireball on the runway. Kaya Johnson.
And there it is.
That, my friends, is something special.
A Yurchenko double full. Starts from a 10.0, extraordinarily difficult, and that was just about as good as you could do it.
The crowd is leaping, a standing ovation for Kaya Johnson.
You'll see her two twists in the air. Her feet were like glue on that one. She knew it was good. I think that's it. I think that means that that's a 10.0 flashing from both judges.
We will let the crowd reaction tell you. I think one judge was just short of 10.
Yep, 1995, and I think 110.0.
9.975, the score for Johnson.
Very near perfect.
Sage Thompson, a freshman.
Sage is ranked number 25 on this event. She got a perfect 10, and you can see why. Her lines are beautiful. Her form is outstanding. The height on her release moves. That was an in-bar Ginger, which those are extremely difficult. Setting up for the dismount here. A beautiful double lay and a stuck landing. That's going to put up a great score. Shapash, the in-bar Ginger, beautifully done. A lot of height on those release moves, and of course, that beautifully stuck landing.
Well, here's Haley Bryant for the Tigers. She's had 13 vault titles in her career.
Ranked number 4 on this event. Vault starts from a 10.0. And there it is. LSU is asking for a 10.0 with all of these stuck landings, and I hope the judges give it to her. That was beautiful.
She's had a 10 this year, and 13 times she has been a meet winner in vault.
Here it is again. Front handspring pike half. I mean, the height, the distance, form, everything about that was just beautiful.
So Bryant concludes LSU's vault. Once again, the huge crowd reaction. And that is perfection. Haley Bryant, a 10.0. So already LSU has ignited this capacity crowd. 2 huge scores in vaulters 5 and 6.
Crystal Issa up for Utah. She is a senior, and she is also a standout performer for this team, especially on this event. She got a 9.95 last week, and she's ranked number 29. She's an All-American as well.
She's a senior from Henderson, Nevada.
Line full into a double layout, and that is extremely difficult, and she made it look so easy.
We saw some good stuff on vault and bars to open this meet.
Bail down to the low bar. Here's that dismount with a nice stuck landing.
We will return and review the scores individually and from a team standpoint when we come back to Baton Rouge, Utah, LSU, the last regular season meet of the season. That 49.525 you see on LSU Vault represents the highest LSU Vault score of the season. Utah with a 49.3 on bars. Let's take a look at some individual totals for the LSU Tigers, and you can see that 9.975 by Johnson and that 10.0 by Bryant, the last in the rotation, really powered LSU to that season's best score. And now we switch to the Utah bars. Birch fell, and so that 9 is deducted. Utah's best this year is 49.8. It scored 49.3 with a strong finish from Issa at 9.9 and McCallum earlier in the rotation at 9.925. So LSU with a lead 49.525 to 49.3. We will come back with more Utah and LSU, 2 top 10 programs battling tonight in Baton Rouge. After one event, 7th-ranked LSU leads Utah, 49.525. The 4th-ranked Utes with 49.3 on bars. Well, let's look at the NCAA gymnastics routine breakdown, some of the things that are crucial to each routine.
The judges are looking for a bunch of different things within each routine. They have to have different skills. You see A is easy, E's are difficult. You combine all of these things, you get bonus points in order to work yourself up to that 10.0 start value. So you have to have certain connections, maybe a leap to a jump, a full turn, different composition requirements as well that the judges are looking for. You must go down on the floor. You must have artistry in your floor routine. So there are different things within each routine and that go into each routine to help make it good for the judges to judge. And in order for them to get all of these skills together, they have to be competitive and up to the collegiate gymnastics requirements.
And the more you can connect those more difficult skills, the higher your potential score.
Yes, and you can't go past, in college, you can't go past that 10.0 start value, but everyone starts from that 9.5, and with these different connections, you work yourself up to that 10.0. And if a gymnast happens to miss one of these connections and doesn't think faster, make up for it in another way during the routine, their start value will not be a 10.0.
There are only 2 competing in all-around, 1 for each team, so we see Haley Bryant, who scored that 10 on vault to lead things, and Grace McCallum with her score there. She is the other participant in the all-around.
Both just standout athletes. Obviously, Grace being an Olympian, a silver medalist this past year, and Haley Bryant just had an outstanding club career and now in college doing big things, and she is just getting started. This is just the tip of the iceberg for her.
Thompson and Hall, Stanhope, Rucker, Birch, and McCallum, the vault lineup for Utah. Another very enthusiastic crowd on hand. Huge numbers this year and the past several years for LSU. Sage Thompson up first. A 9.781 is her season's vault average.
She got a 9.775 the last time out, so I know she's going to want to lead this vault lineup up with maybe a little higher of a score, try to get in that 9.8, 9.875 range to really set the tone for Utah. Yurchenko layout full. She really tried hard to go for that stick, but her chest was down a little bit too far, so that will be a deduction. Just did not have enough momentum on that.
Let's take a look at LSU on bars. Johnson, Arenas, Dunn, Bryant, Shenikova, and Durante. LSU's best on bars this year has been 49.5. This is Kaya Johnson. 3 times in her career, she's won a bars title.
She is just such a solid leadoff for LSU on this event. I know she's looking to put up a big score tonight. Beautiful bail to handstand. Handstand right on top, a toe to hand. Setting up for that dismount. Double layout, sticks the landing, and that's going to get this bar lineup's momentum going. See that chapash up to the high bar, back down to a bail. And then that beautiful double layout. That was a great routine.
Kaylee, we need to backtrack a bit because the judges have redone Sage Thompson's bar score. She scored 9.8 originally. It's been lifted to 9.9 officially, so a 1/10 gain for Sage Thompson. And, of course, that updates the overall score to 49.4.
Cami Hall for Utah. Yurchenko full and a half, starts from a 10.0. Pretty nicely done.
Well, even though she's 2 in the lineup, she's won a couple of vaults titles this year.
She has been a great performer. You'll see a little bit of a form deduction, slight bobble on the landing there, but overall a decent vault for Utah.
Elena Arenas for LSU.
Last week, Elena went 9.825 on this event.
Kaya Johnson's score was 9.9.
Elena has just grown in her consistency so much. Beautiful Tkachev, so much height over that high bar. Pack salto down to the low. Beautiful half pirouette. She finished right on top of that bar, which is exactly what those judges are looking for. Double layout dismount, and another stuck landing for LSU.
You see Jay Clark there offering his congratulations. Bars has been one of his coaching specialties for years.
You'll see that huge Tkachev. Beautiful handstand. And then that stuck landing. Beautifully done. She knew it was a good one. Jay knew it was a good one. I'm excited to see that score.
I think Jay's celebratory dance was about a 9.95. Lucy Stanhope out of Warrington, England. A sophomore. 3 times she's won an event.
She's ranked number 13 right here on vaults. And that was a beautiful Yurchenko full and a half. Again, that blind landing is so hard to stick, but she did a good job controlling it and had just a slight hop on it. Her feet were glued together throughout that whole vault. She had nice distance.
This is Olivia Dunn out of Hillsdale, New Jersey.
She's an All-American on this event and very capable of scoring above a 9.9.
Arenas was 9.875 for LSU on bars.
Beautiful handstand. Another Tkachev right into a pack salto. Had a little trouble on that pirouette. Looks like she couldn't turn fast enough, so unfortunately that's going to be a 5/10 deduction. She's got to get up and finish strong, and again, there's some pressure on the lineup now. Everyone else has to hit. It's so tough when that happens because the girls kind of have to rally around and get back up and find their momentum again.
And bars stresses the body like no other event.
Bars is extraordinarily difficult. It was one of my toughest events, so yes. That was a beautiful Yurchenko 4.5 from Jaden Rucker. She had a lot of height. Again, those landings on that 4.5 is just so tough to stick. But look at that. She's well over the vault table and had a small step on it.
Rucker is no stranger to blue ribbons on this event. She's won 5 vault titles. Haley Bryant up for LSU. Look at that bars average, more than 9.9 for the season. This is one of the best bars competitors in the country.
She's a good one. She's ranked number 11 on this event. She went 9.95 last week, which is her high. And one of her many All-America honors is on the uneven bars.
4 times she has won bars titles.
She's waiting there, waiting for the judges to finish scoring the previous routine.
Bryant in her career has 28 total titles won, 13 on vault, 7 all around, 4 bars, 2 floor, and 2 beam.
Line change into a straddle Jaeger. Beautifully done, a handstand right on top, immediately into a bail. Nice final handstand. Into that double front half. Small step on that landing, but I think that's going to do it for the rest of this lineup to get them back into it, to keep that strong momentum going. That straddle Jaeger, a nice high release move. Beautiful handstands, and finishes off with a really nice dismount.
As a bars competitor, when you're in the routine, when do you know you really have it going?
I guess after each skill, it's one thing at a time. You try not to get ahead of yourself because it's all so continuous.
This is Alexia Birch, 11 vault titles in her career.
Another Yurchenko 4.5 for Utah. Again, just a small step, but that 10.0 start value is huge. Here it is again. Legs were glued together, a little low on that landing, and just a step.
Ilona Shenikova up for LSU at 9.867 bars average this year.
She's an All-American on this event. She went 9.8 last week versus Kentucky.
Her season's best is 9.95, and she's won this event 3 times.
Definitely a great event for her. Nice handstand right on top of that bar. And a double layout dismount. She had some trouble with that last week. I know she got back in the gym and drilled that skill, and it paid off. That nice high release move, catches the bar immediately into a pack salto. And that beautiful double layout, nice form, and of course the stick.
Grace McCallum coming up now for Utah. She's had 15 career victories, 5 in all around, 2 in vault, 3 on bars, 1 on beam, and 4 on floor. This is a special gymnast.
She's ranked number 19 on this event. capable of a 995 or higher every time she does this vault. All right, and that was beautiful. Small hop on that landing, but she had a lot of height, a lot of distance. See it here again. And that's an extremely difficult vault to do. She makes it look very easy.
Here's Sammy Durante out of Athens, Georgia. This has been one of her best events in her career. Sammy Durante, a dozen times, has won a bars title.
She's ranked number 8 on this event. And she has been knocking at the door at a 10.0, and it's senior night tonight, her last bar routine in the PMAC. Let's see what she can do.
She is one of 6 LSU seniors.
Line change into a straddle Jaeger. Beautiful handstand on top, beautiful toe point.
She wastes no time, does she?
She is very quick with her tempo on this event. Final handstand was beautiful. See if she can get the stick. Nice full out. Small hop on that landing, so it won't be that 10.0, but that will be a very nice score to cap off LSU's bar lineup. See that release, the nice straddle Jaeger. Beautiful handstand vertical on top of that bar, and then the full out.
Some big scores for both teams, and we move on. We'll come back and wrap up this second of this rotation in just a moment, as we'll take a look at team scores and individual scores when we return to Baton Rouge, Utah and LSU. This is a good one. We earnestly welcome you back to the Maravich Center on the campus of LSU in Baton Rouge, where Utah and LSU are doing battle tonight. The Tigers have won both of the first 2 events, and you see the updated score. LSU holding a 98.95 to 98.80 lead over the Utah Utes. Let's look at Utah's vault scores. A high of 9.925 by Grace McCallum. She was the anchor of this event, one of the best in the country on vault, and certainly she did not disappoint tonight. And the LSU bar scores coming up right now. Shenikova with the best score of the night for LSU, 9.925, and Sammy Durante's score was only 9.825. That drew the ire and some questioning from the LSU coaching staff, but it will stand. But the Tigers nonetheless on bars get 49.425. That's just under their season's best. So the Tigers have a lead over Utah, and we will come back in a moment as we get set for the next rotation. LSU ranked number 7 in the country, Utah number 4. LSU leads 98.95 to 98.80 over 4th-ranked Utah. The Tigers will be up on beam when we resume, and of course Utah will be on the floor exercise. This is a special night because 6 LSU seniors will be competing for the last time in the Maravich Center in their careers.
Sammy Durante, Rebecca D'Antonio, Christina Desiderio, Reagan Campbell, Sarah Edwards, all of them are competing tonight for the last time in the PMAC, and it's just such an emotional night for them because this crowd and this atmosphere and their teammates just make this place so incredibly special every single Friday night. So I know that each girl is really savoring the moment tonight, and you'll see all of them there with their families here to honor them, and it's just a night to remember, and they'll remember it forever.
There you see the LSU seniors, Campbell, D'Antonio, Dean, Desiderio, Durante, and Edwards, and they've had the honor and the excitement of participating in front of more fans than any other place in the country so far this year.
This program has grown so much since Jay Clark stepped foot on campus. He's made it a priority to get more fans in the PMAC, and he has done just that. I mean, this place is roaring on Friday nights and has steadily been increasing in attendance, and it's just amazing to see.
Let's look ahead at what's to come. The 2022 gymnastics postseason timeline. The SEC championships are March 19th in Birmingham, Alabama. The NCAA regionals are March 30th through the 2nd, and that, of course, includes a play-in round on day 1. The NCAA championship, April 14th and 16th in Fort Worth, Texas.
Got a lot of good gymnastics coming up, and it's go time for these teams. This is what they prepare for, are these championship meets, because every single team is capable of winning an NCAA championship, and that's what they want to do in April.
Well, Bryant has won the vault tonight with that 10.0. Shenikova for LSU and McCallum for Utah tied for the title on bars with a 9.925. And here we go with LSU on beam and Utah on the floor. Desiderio, Rivers, Dean, Bryant, Finnegan, and Johnson. For LSU, Desiderio up first from Hackettstown, New Jersey. Her average 9.863. She's won one beam title. Her best career score has been 9.95.
Christina's just such a solid leadoff. We say this every time we talk about her, especially on this event. And it's so important, especially for an event like beam, to have a solid leadoff who's consistent, who's calm, and you know what you're going to get as soon as she sets foot on the equipment. On balance beam, this is what the judges are looking for. Some dance elements and acro skills. Things like back handsprings, flips without hands, those skills connected make up a series. Different connections, leap connections, jumps, and balance. Staying on the beam, not wobbling at all. And Christina is doing a fabulous job so far, finishing each skill. She got a 9.9 on this event last week, and she's capable of way more, and I hope she gets it tonight on her senior night in the PMAC. Here's her acro series, a back handspring to a layout step out.
No wobbles, no bobbles.
It's pretty spot on into a gainer layout full dismount. Perfectly stuck.
This is Abby Paulson. She has won 2 floor titles, and her career best is 9.925. She will be followed by that rotation you just saw.
That first tumbling pass, front tuck step out to a 2.5, nicely done. On floor, the judges are looking for difficulty of skills. And A is the easiest skill, E is difficult, E is even more difficult. And so they're looking for those D and E skills, the artistry, showing off your dance and sticking those landings. She is doing a great job showing off all of her choreography so far.
And it seems to me that over the last decade, floor exercise has really blossomed. Personality has come through. More acrobatic skills are being developed, and there's a lot of sass in this event.
A lot of different music, and you can't have words in your music, but a lot of different sounds have been incorporated into each music so that each girl can really show off their personality. A lot of different drum beats, and it's gone from classical music that you saw way back when, and now it's fun and different, and it gets the crowd involved, which is so great for the sport. And that was an amazing leadoff for Utah. She had a lot of energy. Her landings were great in each of her tumbling passes. You'll see that first tumbling pass again. She controlled that landing. 4.5 to a punch layout.
Kai Rivers is up on beam for LSU. Desiderio scored a 9.925 to open beam for the Tigers, and that matches her season's best.
Back handspring layout, step out, beautifully done. Kai has battled some injuries, so I'm happy to see her back in the lineups, getting better, because she can put up some great scores for LSU. Nice switch half. Each gymnast must show a split position. 180 degrees is what the judges are looking for in order to not get one deduction. Beam is one of those events you need to breathe through, focus. You'll see each gymnast may talk to themselves, giving themselves little mental cues, because it's a mental game on that balance beam. That was a beautiful routine from Kai Rivers, and she capped it off with a beautiful stuck dismount. Here's that acro series, a back handspring layout step out. And then that round off double full sticks the landing.
Rivers' best this year has been 9.9. And we'll check her score in a moment as we go back to Gilstrap, the sophomore from McKinney, Texas.
She has a season high of a 9.875 on floor. And she's capable of going 9.85 plus every time she does this floor routine. She opens with a nice double tuck. She had a season-ending surgery on her shoulder prior to Pac-12 championship, so for her to battle back and get healthy and be in this floor lineup where gymnastics is tough on your body in general, but especially on floor, being really tough on your shoulders, and she's just doing an amazing job. Switch ring, beautifully done, has a nice toe point. You'll see beautiful artistry from her, and you'll also see in the corner Maya Hambrick, who some of you may remember, 20-time All-American for LSU, coming back as the volunteer assistant coach at Utah. And it's amazing to see.
She was one of the best who has ever put on a leotard at LSU. And on the other side of that, LSU has coaches with Utah connections as well.
Yes, Courtney and Garrett Griffith came here from Utah. And it's just cool to see all the gymnastics ties that this one meet is bringing together.
Let's take a look at Bridget Dean as she gets ready to go on beam.
Bridget is another senior competing here tonight for the last time in the PMAC. And she has just broken into this beam lineup the past few seasons and has been perfect. Beautiful series. Side aerial into a back handspring, and she does that so well. In her 2021 season, she hit every routine she performed, and that is exactly the kind of performer you want in every lineup, but especially balance beam. Front aerial into a beat jump. Showing off each dance move from her fingers to her toes, setting up for that dismount. Side aerial into a back layout full. Small hop on that landing, but that was near perfect. There's that series. Side aerial into a back handspring.
LSU is off to a very fine start on beam. trying to protect its lead against Utah. Lucy Stanhope. Her career best is 9.9. Her season's best is 9.875.
She's been on floor in 12 competitions, so she is no stranger to this event. Looking to put up another big score for Utah.
She's had a couple of event victories this season, but they've both been on vault.
See a nice full in. That is one of those E elements, extremely difficult for that first pass. Showing it off, going down on the floor, which is also something the judges are looking for. They look for changes in levels in your choreography. Front tuck step out into a double back. Very nicely done. You'll notice she only did 2 tumbling passes. Most gymnasts do 3, but that is allowed as long as you get all of your requirements in those 2 passes. Just that final tumbling pass. Very, very well done.
Back to beam we go for Haley Bryant. 2 beam titles and a 9.95 season's best score.
Aerial into a back handspring step out for her acro series. Switch leap into a straddle quarter. I mean, Haley Bryant is just one of these athletes that the honors just don't stop with her. And she's such a young athlete. She had a little trouble on that front tuck, dropped that shoulder coming out of the flip. Forced her to take a little bit of a balance check, but she stayed on. Full turn, another required element that the judges are looking for. And a Rudy for the dismount, sticks the landing. Overall, a nice routine. She fought to stay on the beam for that front tuck. That will be a deduction, so not the score she was hoping for, but she recovered pretty well. Here's her leap series.
Lucy Stanhope on Utah floor tied her season's best with a 9.875. And this is Jaden Rucker, who has won a couple of floor titles.
She is 2-time All Pac-12 Conference on both vault and floor. 2021 Pac-12 floor co-champion. So it's safe to say that this is one of her best.
She's had 7 career victories, 5 on vault and 2 on floor.
A little trouble on that first pass. She had a lot of power, bounced right out of it. Uncharacteristic for her.
How much of a deduction might that be?
Probably a 1/10.5. But it really does. It depends on the judge's angle and what they see and what they think ultimately. Last week she scored a 9.925, so she's capable of putting up a very big score for this lineup. See her teammates on the sidelines doing her routine with her, getting her pumped up for this next tumbling pass. Front layout right into a front full. It's another required element on the floor exercise. 2 saltos directly connected to get you that connection bonus to get to that 10.0 start value. Very nicely done. Not much deduction in there besides that first tumbling pass. She hopped out of it.
Not much to criticize after that initial mistake, though.
Absolutely. These girls at this level really got to be nitpicky to get those deductions. Front layout into a front full for that final tumbling pass. Very well done.
Back to beam we go. The freshman out of Lee's Summit, Missouri, Aaliyah Finnegan.
Aaliyah scored a 9.9 last week on balance beam, and she's one of LSU's top beam workers.
And she's had 1 beam title.
Setting up for that acro series, taking a deep breath. And it is a triple series, and that was perfect. Back handspring, layout, step out, layout, step out. Beautiful 180-degree splits on those leaps. Aaliyah had a decorated elite gymnastics career. She was part of the U.S. women's national team. And now in college, as a freshman, she's already doing really big things. And she's only in a few events for LSU right now, but she trains the all-around. So by the time she's a senior, I bet she'll be one of the top all-arounders.
Her victory on beam was February 25th.
Side aerial into a back full dismount.
Let's take you over to the floor exercise. This is Grace McCallum, a 5'3" freshman from Minnesota, 2020 Olympic silver medalist, 2-time world champion as a Team USA member, a 5-time all-around champion this season, Pac-12 Freshman of the Week. She has done it all in her rookie year and preceding her time at Utah.
Grace McCallum is a standout athlete, an Olympian like we just talked about, and already as a freshman, just making her way into the NCAA, scoring big scores, getting honors week after week, and you will see why. Beautiful full in, extremely difficult. She's number 10 on the floor exercise and scored a 9.925 last week, and she's looking to put up that big score here tonight.
She's had 4 wins on floor. 1 on beam, 3 on bars, and 2 on vault, and 5 all around.
It's so awesome to see Olympians now coming into the collegiate gymnastics world, and they get to have fun with their gymnastics. Elite gymnastics can be very serious and intimidating, and in college gymnastics, they're still able to do what they love but kind of let loose and just have fun with it to end their gymnastics career. But she had a little trouble with momentum on that last tumbling pass, but overall a fantastic floor routine. That first tumbling pass, a full in, little low in that landing.
Please welcome Kaya Johnson.
Here's Kaya Johnson.
Kaya did not compete last week versus Kentucky. They took her out of the lineup. She's been battling some injuries here and there. So just to be safe, they took her out.
She is one of the most dynamic, energetic, crowd-pleasing gymnasts for LSU.
And she's just beautiful, even on balance beam. That's not such a power event. You see it in her skills and the way she executes each element. It's just beautiful. and she has scored a perfect 10 on this event. Switch leap, into a split jump.
I think perfection on beam is one of the most difficult things to do, to accomplish in all of sports.
Balance beam is no easy feat. Beautiful routine so far. She's ranked number 23 on balance beam in the NCAA. Setting up for the dismount. Back handspring, 4.5. I've been off on the scores all night, but I'm hoping that that will be a 10.0 because that was beautiful.
This crowd erupts in jubilation and support.
Is that dismount again to cap that beam routine off? She knew it was good.
Here's Sydney Solosky out of Calgary, Alberta, Canada. Got a very high floor average of 9.92. 16 floor titles she has won. This is one of the best in the country.
She's a good one, that's for sure. That was a sky-high double layout, legs glued together, beautiful landing. Last week she scored a 9.975.
She can light up an arena, whether it be at home or on the road.
She has scored a 9.925 or better in 7 of 10 routines this year. 9.975 is no stranger to her, so almost a 10.0, and she's capable of just that. Her poise and her elegance, and she's also such a powerful gymnast, so to have the mix of both is really the perfect storm of what you're looking for. Deep breath before this next tumbling pass. 4.5 punch layout. That was outstanding. Here's that double layout. I mean, that's just about as good as you could do it.
Speaking about as good as you can do it, Kaya Johnson scored a 9.95 on beam, looking for her 6th beam title. And we will have an exhibition for LSU. This is Rebecca D'Antonio, one of the 6 seniors. She's out of New Orleans. And Rebecca, with a chance here in a non-scoring role, will get to perform before this capacity crowd in Baton Rouge.
It's just so special to get up there and finish off what you've been doing your whole life and really showcase it in front of such great fans and your teammates.
Speaking of fans, Utah has been #1 in the country in attendance since 2004. That's a long time in a row. LSU's got a chance to surpass that this season, depending on the numbers.
Rebecca had a fall on that front tuck, which is an extremely difficult element to do. Switch leap, switch leap. Setting up for that dismount, back handspring, into a 4.5. She had a fall, but what a special moment. What an emotional moment for Rebecca.
We shall move on in a moment and get you caught up on team scores and individual scores in the last event. LSU and Utah on the SEC ESPN Network. With one rotation to go, the LSU Tigers have a 148.475 to 148.20 for Utah. And let's take a look at individual scores now for Utah on the floor exercise. Solosky with a 9.950. That was the high score for Utah. You see the rest there. Pretty healthy scores for Utah on floor. And for LSU on beam, Desiderio got it started with a 9.9 plus, and it was concluded by Johnson with a 9.975, near perfection. LSU on beam scored a 49.5 overall. So we go to LSU on floor, Utah on beam when we return to Baton Rouge. Utah has the beam remaining. LSU will complete its night on floor, and the Tigers have a 148.450 lead over Utah with a 148.200. Another huge crowd on hand tonight for LSU, and for the first time since 2004, there is a new national attendance leader. It is the LSU Tigers, a crowd of 10,845 tonight, a season's average here in Baton Rouge for the home meets of 11,691. So LSU leads the nation in attendance during the regular season this year. That's quite the feat. And of course, Utah since 2004 every year has been the attendance leader in the country. But this sport has just blossomed over the last 5 years in Baton Rouge. And of course, there have been huge numbers at Florida and Georgia and Alabama over the course of the last decade and a half or so. But this is a sport which has a whole lot of admirers in the SEC and LSU in particular.
It's a fun family event on a Friday night that's not hours long, and it's fun to watch, especially the floor exercise. The crowd gets involved. They know some of the floor routine, choreography. You'll see some of the kids dancing in the stands. It's just so cool to see how much this program and the attendance has grown, and Jay Clark's had a lot to do with that.
Let's get you caught up on some all-around numbers here. One all-around participant for LSU and one for Utah. Grace McCallum trails Haley Bryant. So Haley Bryant with a 29.750 through 3 events. We'll see how those two in their head-to-head competition in the all-around fare with one event to go. Now remember, Utah on the season, one of the very, very best in the country on beam.
They are just outstanding. They're ranked number 3 with a 49.725 as their high just from last week.
This is still anybody's meet, although LSU has the lead going into the final exercise. Morgan up first. Emily Morgan.
She is just a solid leadoff for this Utah team. She scored a 9.9 last week on this event. She's ranked number 26 in the NCAA. There's a beautiful triple series. And she has, in meets past, led off with a 9.95, which is just huge because typically scores tend to rise from the first athlete to the last. So to begin and have your benchmark at a 9.95, if everyone else follows suit, those are going to be some really big beam scores.
Utah's season high on beam, and this is almost hard to believe, was a 49.725. That's incredible.
Jump into a side aerial and a back full dismount, stuck the landing, and that was a great leadoff for Utah. That triple series, back handspring to a layout step out. stuck landing. That'll put up a pretty great score.
Fighting Tigers, Christina Desiderio.
Christina Desiderio will compete on floor here in the final floor exercise in Baton Rouge of the year.
And she's really hungry for a big score because she got a 9.75 last week. So uncharacteristic of her to have some landing issues on her tumbling passes. So she wants a big score tonight. Full and a half punch layouts. Very nicely done. Jay Clark said the last meet they had in the PMAC last Friday versus Kentucky, the way it ended, the way they performed just was not what they were expecting. And he said that this team has not put together a complete meet just yet. He said they're just hitting their stride, and it could be perfect timing with postseason around the corner for everything to come together to win that championship. That was a beautiful floor routine. Every pass was stuck. She's going to be happy with that score.
Tiger fans, St. Mary's Center salute for senior Christina Desiderio.
That first tumbling pass, a huge double layout. And that last double tuck. Nailed those landings.
You mentioned Morgan's ability to start well on beam. She's done it again with a 9.925 in the opening beam rotation for Utah. That's just really a splendid start. And now Grace McCallum.
It's incredible. Grace is ranked number 12 in the NCAA on this event. Went 9.95 last week. And she is part of such an amazing freshman class at Utah. It's highlighted by her performance, though. She really brings the energy, her expertise to this Utah team. Handspring layout, step out.
Utah has won 10 national championships, 45 national championship appearances, but its last national title was in 1995. It was number 3 in the country last year and the runner-up in 2015.
Grace is also already breaking records at Utah. She is the first gymnast to post a 39.775 since 2017. So she's definitely got more left in her because she's just getting started.
She's in rarefied air already, and as you say, her career in its infancy at Utah.
So wolf turn, very difficult to do. Cat leap into a side aerial, back full dismount, very well done.
Desiderio was 9.925 on LSU floor, and this brings on Shenikova, who has won 1 floor title. Her best score, 9.925.
Front handspring, double full. It's an E element as well. Very difficult to perform, especially with that blind landing. And you'll notice LSU has not had the same lineups go each and every week. And while that can be an issue sometimes, for this team it's not. They have such great depth, which is so important, especially on these leg exercises where you tend to get beat up a lot. You want to make sure that you have athletes ready to go that can put up big scores.
That is a bit unusual, though, that the Tigers, not in one meet this year, more than one, have they had the same a different, the lineup's been different every week in some capacity.
Yeah, I mean, some people get injured. You want to rest some people for postseason. Circumstances change, and this is such a sport that you want to make sure you're keeping your athletes healthy because it's hard on your body. Final tumbling pass was really good. And that's the routine she's been looking for.
She's a junior from Evergreen, Colorado.
Front handspring double full. Final tumbling pass. A Rudy into a split jump. Very hard to control, especially when you're coming out of that with a lot of power, but she did it very well.
McCallum on beam was 9.9 for Utah, and now Alexia Birch.
She was the 2021 Pac-12 Specialist of the Year, two-time All-Pac-12 Conference. Beautiful acro series there. Slight wobble on that. Those jumps are extraordinarily difficult. Utah had some lineup changes as well with Miley O'Keefe being out. So Alexia had to come in, and she's doing such a great job.
One quick update on the Shenandoah floor score, 9.9.
It's a beautiful routine from Alexia Birch. Utah exercising their depth, seeing what they have. If an athlete goes out, they know that Alexia can go in and put up a great score.
Sarah Edwards on the mat now for LSU. 2 floor titles to her credit.
Sarah got a 9.925 last week.
That's her season's best.
She's just so full of energy and so powerful. A beautiful first tumbling pass. I know this crowd is going to miss her smiling face. She's just so much fun to watch. She's one of those seniors that elected to come back again after regaining some eligibility from the 2020 season with the pandemic. And she's glad she did, and all of these seniors really are, and so is Jay Clark. He knows that the season didn't end the way that these seniors wanted it to last year, and they're itching to get back to the national championships and make something happen. What a beautiful performance for her final routine in the PMAC.
Senior Sarah Edwards.
Here's that first tumbling pass for handspring double full. Front full, directly connected.
Abby Paulson now on beam for Utah, and let's go back to the preceding beam worker. Alexia Birch scored a season's high of 9.9. So far so good on beam for Utah.
Abby Paulson is ranked number 20 on this event in the NCAA.
8 times she has won beam.
Side aerial to a back layout step out. She's also 2021 Pac-12 beam co-champion, and she has scored a 9.9 or better on beam in 10 of 14 beam routines.
She's been perfect on beam with a 10.
Side aerial into a back full, stuck landing, and I can see why she is one of their outstanding beam workers. From her fingers to her toes, everything was spot on and just beautifully done.
The crowd eruption you hear is for the floor score of Sarah Edwards, a 9.975. That's her career high. So she ends her career in the Maravich Center with the highest score she's ever had.
Such a special moment for her.
Now KJ Johnson. A 5-foot freshman from Dallas with a lot of energy.
She scored a 9.8 last week, but she's capable of scoring much higher. Look at that opening tumbling pass. I mean, you could have walked under that. She's got so much power. Ball and a half to a punch layout. In her very first time competing as a Tiger on both vault and floor, she came out like she was no stranger, and she scored a 9.9 on both of those events. As a freshman, that's huge because you walk in here and a lot of times freshmen don't have the confidence, and she did from the onset, and that's only going to get stronger.
KJ may burn more calories during this routine than anybody.
A lot of energy goes into these routines, and by that last pass, you are exhausted. Beautiful double tuck.
Oh, that was good. Very good.
Could not ask for much better. There's that first tumbling pass. A full in. And that final one, a beautiful double tuck. She had great landings, great energy throughout that entire floor routine. And that's going to be a big score for LSU.
Speaking of very good, Abby Paulson was exceptional on beam. 9.975, that's a season's high. And here is Issa. 8 beam titles to her credit. She's had a 10 this year.
She's number 9 on balance beam. And she's also an All-American on this event as well. Triple series, back handspring, layout, step out, layout, step out. She's hit 19 of 21 routines this season. And out of her career, 100 out of 106 career hits.
That's incredibly stable and consistent.
That's what I've noticed about this whole Utah team. They are incredibly consistent. That was a beautiful routine, capped off with a nice stuck landing. The scores are building on balance beam for Utah.
3 beam titles this year, along with a couple of bars championships for Issa.
There's that triple series again.
And now Aaliyah Finnegan on floor for LSU, a season's best of 9.9.
Aaliyah is capable of putting up such a big score for this floor lineup. She's got a big first pass. A huge double Arabian. Had a little trouble with that stag leap out of it. But she did very well. You'll notice the 4-inch mat there. That is allowed to be there. Kind of softens the blow on your ankles because it is very hard to land on this floor.
And she descended from a very great height at the end of that first pass.
She did. She's got a great mix of grace from her fingers to her toes. Her toe point is beautiful. And she's just a powerhouse athlete. Punch layout. Very well done. We're going to be seeing a lot more from Aaliyah Finnegan. That huge double Arabian. Saw she had a little trouble, didn't quite bounce out of that like she wanted to. That 2.5 to a punch layout. She really made that work.
Crystal Issa on beam was 9.975, and this has been a splendid start so far for Utah on an apparatus that it's ranked 3rd in the country.
Kara Eaker up on beam. See if she can keep this momentum going. Utah's put up some big scores, and we knew that they would. She got a 9.9 last week on this event, and with 2.9975s before her, some great scores to build off of.
Finnegan turned in a 9.925 on floor. That's her best in her career.
Kara was also a 2020 U.S. Olympic team alternate, a 4-year member of the USA national team. She has just an outstanding elite career. And again, to come to Utah and finish off her collegiate gymnastics career, not the routine she wanted, but she is an outstanding athlete, and I know she's going to do great things for Utah.
Support of the greatest fans in NCAA gymnastics. LSU Gymnastics makes history tonight.
That dismount stakes the landing.
With the highest average attendance in the nation for the first time in school history.
The announcement has just been made over the public address system that for the first time in LSU gymnastics history, this program has led the country in average national attendance. 11,691, the average attendance. Utah had been the attendance leader every year since 2004.
LSU's floor scores are absolutely beautiful. The lowest being a 9.9. This is exactly the kind of floor numbers that they were looking for tonight.
And this is Haley Bryant.
Front handspring, double front. Haley's been battling a torn plantar fascia and some other minor injuries. So for her to come out here and put up the scores that she puts up, really amazing. She's just such a great athlete.
This is the final competitor from a scoring standpoint of the evening. We will have an exhibition for LSU.
I know Haley's looking for that 10 tonight, and she's set up to do it with the great scores that she's had before her. She has had multiple 10s on vault. Not one on floor yet, but I know it's not far away for her. Front handspring layout to a Rudy. And that was a beautiful routine from Haley Bryant. That first tumbling pass, a sky-high double front. last tumbling pass. Very well done.
So the scoring is over. We'll get you caught up on the meet results. In a moment, we will have Sierra Ballard in an exhibition floor exercise. Just back to that attendance mark in a moment. Congratulations to LSU, but let's give this Utah program credit. It holds the all-time home attendance single meet record of 16,019 for a college gymnastics meet. That occurred against Michigan back in 2015.
Here goes Sierra Ballard for LSU, exhibitioning. Again, this is just great that they get to exercise their depth. Give Sierra a chance to get out there, perform, and show LSU what she has if she were to be called upon to jump in the lineup. And she's got a great routine. Beautiful double layout. She's capable of putting up a huge score for this team. Full and a half punch layouts. She's got so much energy, so much sass in this floor routine. She's also head coach Jay Clark's niece, so that's got to be pretty cool. Final tumbling pass. A double pike. Beautifully done.
She wanted to start celebrating right there.
Well deserved. That was a beautiful floor routine for LSU.
So Sierra Ballard concludes with the exhibition, and we have a final total. This is the highest score of the year for the LSU Tigers, a 198.125, defeating Utah, which posted a 197.875. So with the highest score for the 2022 season, the LSU Tigers beat Utah. And Bryant is your winner. Haley Bryant, the winner in the all-around tonight. So if this were a foundation meet, it's a pretty good one as both of these teams get set for postseason. Your final comments.
I think LSU did what they wanted to do, and the best part is they weren't perfect tonight. They still have room to get even better than that 198-125, because I think there were a few things here and there that they can improve upon. But what a great meet. And I think this 198-125 is really going to fire LSU up going into postseason. And Utah did a fantastic job as well, coming into this environment and putting up a 197.875 road score. These two teams are just so competitive, and they're ready for postseason, and I'm excited to see them go against each other again.
So for the final time in 2022, gymnastics is done here in the Maravich Center, and the LSU Tigers, with their biggest total of the season, beat Utah 198.125 to 197.875. We thank you for joining us tonight. For Kaylee Dixon-Abood, I'm Lynn Rollins. LSU, a winner over Utah. This has been a presentation of ESPN.